Presty.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I would like to raise three issues which relate to my constituency of Filton and Bradley Stoke. First and foremost, I am hugely excited by the prospect of a new arena in the Brabazon Hangar on the former Filton airfield. Bristol is one of the most creative cultural cities in the country. Indeed, there can be scarcely anywhere in the country more famed for its contributions to sport, music, art, theatre and wider culture. That our area doesn't have a large arena of its own has long been a conspicuous absence in our local offering. I want to pay tribute to YTL, who are the developers of the 400-acre airfield site. Their proposals which will lead to the building of a new arena on the border between Bristol and South Gloucestershire, which will be funded without a penny of taxpayers' money. YTL's forecast predict that this project will create 500 jobs, attract 1.4 million visitors per year and add around £1.5 billion to our local economy. In reusing the existing Brabazon Hangar, instead of building a brand new arena from scratch, these proposals will save 18,600 tonnes in carbon emissions, the equivalent of 11,200 return flights to New York, so I'm told. The innovative designs will mean that the Brabazon Hangar will be able to host touring bands, concerts, sports events in a single venue. The arena will boast, importantly, excellent transport links, including a brand new railway station at North Filton, a regular metro bus service and convenient walking and cycling routes. This project is a fantastic opportunity, and I would urge councillors on Bristol City Council who are making the decision very soon to get on with granting the planning permission for delays that will only cause the cost to increase. The Labour Council's plans to spend £150 million of taxpayers' money on the arena at Temple Meads in the middle of Bristol were ill-fated, and there is now a great opportunity at the Brabazon Hangar site to have a better facility, better transport links with zero cost to the taxpayer. So I suggest they seize it with both hands. Now, the next issue I'd like to highlight is transport infrastructure. The Prime Minister highlighted the upgrade to Bristol East Junction in his statement the other day, which is progressing well as part of our wider Metro West suburban railway project. This project will deliver great things for our local area, with Phase 1 reopening the Portishead branch rail line. The Severn Beach line will be extended to allow for direct journeys to Westbury and Bath, and this extension is on time to be delivered by 2021. Furthermore, we'll see a reopened Henbury line, offering an hourly service to new stations in North Filton, Henbury and Ashley Down, and new, more frequent half-hourly services between Bristol Parkway and Yates. So our area is already becoming better connected, but I'm eagerly anticipating seeing the benefits of £350 million worth of investment in transport infrastructure over the next 20 years. But there are some issues that need addressing. Firstly, the regular service is restored to Pilning railway station. We are lucky enough in my constituency to have the new facility of the Wave, which is the first inland surfing lake of its kind in England, on the edge of Pilning in Easter Compton. This amazing facility opened recently and will attract thousands of tourists, and if we don't want them to drive there, putting pressure on rural road networks with limited capacity, it would be sensible to ensure that they have a reliable rail service, especially because there's a railway station already on the doorstep. Secondly, and linked to sustainability of the area as well, I believe that a park and ride facility at Severn Beach railway station would be greatly beneficial. It would capture a lot of traffic heading towards Bristol and avoid a large number of car journeys being taken. There is land adjacent to the station which I think would be suitable for this purpose, and I have made the case for it to be used as a park and ride. This would benefit those travelling towards Bristol from Gloucestershire and Wales, as the station is conveniently located near the A403 and M4, and will also benefit those commuting towards work in Avonmouth and Sevenside, which is a huge growth area for jobs and industry, and is a 10-minute journey from train from Severn Beach to Avonmouth. Now, finally, I'd like to focus on the issue of local education. Our local schools have faced challenges, but actually many of them are beginning to improve thanks to the commitment from parents, hard-working teachers and school staff. In particular, I'd like to pay tribute to South Gloucestershire and Stroud College, which last week was recognised for strong performance. Students studying A-levels at SGS made more progress from their GCSE grades than other learners studying similar subjects across South Gloucestershire and England. And I'd also like to highlight the excellent work done by Bradley Stoke Community School, which continues to be the best school in South Gloucestershire. Now, I really enjoy going around and visiting schools, and I'm always inspired when I go into my local schools to see young people eager to learn, teachers and staff striving to provide the best education, and governors and parents who are committed to providing the right support environment for this to happen. And as somebody who Didn't benefit from a fantastic education when I was younger. I left school at 16 with very few qualifications, so I'm passionate about social mobility and the opportunities. Now, South Gloucestershire is the lowest funded education authority in the country. Now, there is no real good reason for this, beside the arbitrary whims of a mathematical formula. And the impact being had, it's clear when you compare our results to those to our geographic and demographic neighbours. Whilst the direction of travel is good and it is improving, many schools are improving, it cannot be argued that our lack of funding is not actually a factor in their underperformance in some cases. So I've made a submission to the Chancellor ahead of the budget to argue for more funding to our schools to assist with some of their capital needs, as many are unable to invest in heating, windows and other necessary maintenance to ensure children are studying in the kind of environment we would expect. I've been working closely with many schools in South Gloucestershire and would like to pay tribute to those members of staff who are working very diligently to deliver a good education for our children, despite the limitations in some cases of the buildings they are operating in. But in particular, I'd like to highlight the situation at Patchway Community School. It is a school I have great affection for, as 3 of my children went there and have had great education and have moved on to great careers. So over a year ago, on a catch-up visit, I was shocked at the state of the buildings and the infrastructure. Ceilings were coming down, holes in the flooring, and the whole place gives an impression of sort of decay and it's falling apart. The staff involved are undertaking an amazing effort to educate pupils there, but limitations put on them by the shoddy state of the school buildings are extreme, and I was really surprised. The school still has the original resistant material workbenches from the 50s. Now, children are working with equipment older than I am, not a mile away from Rolls-Royce and Airbus, 2 of the leading technology engineering companies in the world. Now, children are forced to skirt round collapsed flooring which has had to be coned off because there isn't the budget to repair it. Windows go unreplaced, and the staff have been forced to decide whether to replace their ageing heating system or undertake other routine maintenance. It is a choice they shouldn't really have to make. Parts of the school even flood during periods of heavy rain, and the changing rooms for sport are not fit for purpose. And so I want every child in South Gloucestershire to feel valued at school, not dread their daily attendance in a dilapidated, dismal and a decaying place where the day-to-day experience must be disheartening at times. I have engaged with ministers on the issue, have had the school minister visit the school, but we haven't had much success to date in any increased funding or the addressing of these very important issues. But rest assured, I will continue to campaign until schools in my area get the funding they need and deserve. In addition, I have been and will be continuing to meet with local companies, especially in the STEM field, to explore whether there is scope for some support in this regard. I mean, we're desperately short as a nation of engineers and scientists. I represent an area which is the hub, I think, of the southwest of England's aerospace, technology, defence industries, and yet I see children training on metalwork and woodwork on equipment, which, as I said earlier, is older than I am. Schools should be places of inspiration, hope, and to highlight the great possibilities and opportunities of what life can offer. You know, going back to social mobility, you know, it's aspiration, it's looking beyond your circumstances. The staff at Patchway School are heroically doing the very best they can to provide this environment, but it must be very difficult and demoralising when it can seem that the buildings are falling down around you. So I'd like to get on the record an invitation to the Secretary of State for Education, whoever that will be at the end of the day, to visit soon with me, to go around the school and to see what can be done. Thank you.